What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister, who has a name,
Dorothy.
Dorothy,
Dorothy.
my brother Derek,
What's up?
and my friend Dan.
Hola.
Ashley almost called you by your real name, and like it just doesn't fit the D aesthetic. So, uh, but
There's a silent D at the beginning.
there's a silent D. I got you.
Yep.
This week, you guys, we're talking about Dune, the sci-fi movie starring, what's that guy's name?
Jason Momoa.
No, Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy. Is it Timothy or Timothy? They got an accent over it.
I think it's Timothy. You can just say Timothy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave Batista.
I'm calling him Timothy all day.
Yeah. Timothy Chalamet, Dave Batista, Jason Momoa, Oscar
Zendaya.
Isaac, does not star Zendaya. It doesn't. So
She's in it.
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to the whole Zendaya thing. But yeah. So usually we go through these movies and we go through what our likes and dislikes are, and then we give it a little bit of a rating. So if you haven't seen Dune and you're interested in seeing it, well, spoilers, because we're going to spoil the movie, and then you can watch it, come back, and see what we thought about it. Does it line up with yours? I'm going to start by saying I liked the premise of this movie. I think the plot, I think, is very good. I'm trying to put this in a certain way. The plot, I think, is interesting. Also, I liked what set design, I think is what I'm gonna go with. I thought that, the visuals of the movie was pretty cool, and they did a good job.
What
with
about
that.
the cinematography?
Cinematography? Yeah. Nothing stood out really there. Or I might have been distracted by the movie's score, because I'm going to jump into my dislikes, because that's all of my likes there.
That was so annoying.
The score, oh my god, horrible.
Annoying.
Honestly, I think it took me out of this movie so much. Like, and then sometimes they just played this welling score up, and it was somebody walking down a hall. Like, they're just all this big music, and then this guy's just walking. Like, why?
Yeah, they made some interesting choices with their like when they played it and how they played it. It was that, and did you guys notice that people was whispering for no reason? I'm like, are you talking in a normal inside voice sound? I just didn't understand. It was weird to me.
I thought they was, because that was when they was speaking in a different language, that Freeman or Fremen, whatever
Yeah.
that language was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I found oftentimes me like turning up my TV and turning it down at times, and I'm not a fan of doing that.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't really have to do that. I didn't have.
I think that was
I
on
did.
purpose, though. I don't know why, but I think that was
But
on
I'm saying,
purpose.
like, why are we doing this?
But
It's
Yeah,
not like
I
they
don't
were
know.
in secret.
But I
And they had
did
subtitles.
find the score loud and jarring. Maybe I just had my TV up loud, so.
It was still loud. Like, I feel like my TV turned itself up whenever they played the score.
It was loud.
I couldn't.
Like-
I mean, and
And I wasn't a fan.
normally this is not what I talk about in movies for a negative, but man, did this, like, after this movie, I was like, oh, I hate that score. Oh no.
No, I'm with you, DJ. It was I felt like it was overly loud and unnecessary. Like, you shouldn't be able to notice it like that.
I just don't think
and
it
I
fit the
felt
movie.
like,
Yeah, like
yeah.
your score should enhance what you're seeing and what you're feeling, and this one kind of just takes you out of whatever you were looking at. To me,
And you know what?
Yeah.
And it was used too much, right?
Yes.
the main
Yeah.
score of the movies should be used to like evoke like that moment in the movie, right? And this was just like, okay, it's a scene transition, so let's play the score. Like, I no.
Yeah,
So
like please.
yeah, please stop. Please stop. Um,
Hans Zimmer, ain't that the dude that did the music for this?
did he?
I believe so. Yeah, he actually he turned down a movie, and I'm like, oh, that'd have been great to do this movie. I believe it is Hans Zimmer.
Oh no, now I feel bad.
Wow.
When did I listen to anything from Hans Zimmer that I didn't like? Oh man.
I'm guessing this now.
Yeah, well, they're not all winners. Yeah, so the score, no. It was too long.
Yes,
This movie was too long.
absolutely.
Too
Honestly, we could have cut out some of the walking through the sand to shorten this movie up.
yeah.
It
Two
was
and
a
a
lot
half
of
And
walking.
like
hours.
that, and like we kept getting these visions, but it was a showing us the same thing. How many times do we got to see Zendaya walking and turning around? I don't need to see that 10 times in a movie. We get it. This is what you envision. Don't need to see it anymore.
Right, right. Um yeah, that 2.5 hour runtime
Ooh,
was not necessary. Some movies is necessary, and it definitely was not necessary in this.
no,
Even
because
more so than No Time to Die. I know Dorothy was saying No Time to Die was too long. No, this was too long.
I didn't feel like two times. Uh, A Time to Die was too long. But this, yeah, I kept looking at my uh clock, like how long is this movie? And I didn't
um,
even finish it.
oh, for real, dude, I
Yeah, I
don't
didn't
know. It's
even
like
finish it.
that last 20 or so minutes felt like an hour, and I was just so ready for it to end.
No, we
It definitely
paused.
did.
We paused so my wife can go to the bathroom, and it was like, oh, there's an hour left in this movie, and I was like, oh my god. Ugh. So, yeah, I think I know why. The pacing was slow and the movie was too long. I think I know why.
Okay.
Because
Because the plot is overly complicated. There's so much stuff
they
going
didn't
on.
even need to explain all of like I understood the plot, but they just definitely took their time explaining everything. Um but this was all in act 1. Like this entire movie is
Yeah,
act 1.
yeah,
Yes.
There's no act 2 or 3 in this movie
yeah.
because in act 3, who was the thing for them to overcome? Right? That's what you do
Nothing.
in act 3.
Which which is one of my issues with this movie is it felt incomplete, and it felt incomplete because it is incomplete. And I get that there will be a part two, but I
Yeah,
felt like you still gotta end the movie properly. It just ended.
I get movies with part 1s and part 2, but when you do that, it still has to be a complete movie. You can't
Oh
just
man.
you can't split a movie in half. Imagine if they did in game and then they just split it in half in the middle of them in their time heist. Like they're in the middle of the time heist and it's just that's the end of the movie. Now there's a part 2. No, you need to have a complete movie. It has
Yeah,
to be a
no.
complete movie. And this isn't. It is just act 1. And that is what I dislike the most because you can tell what's going on. Like I said in the beginning, I think the plot can be very interesting. I think like on paper what they have here is an interesting story. But how they implemented it, especially, and I don't know if it's studio like wanting more money, but they're like, let's do a 1 and 2.
Well, I'll tell you why. And this is, I guess, it was part of my movie facts, but we could talk about it. Um, so this is based off a book.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, this movie is the first half of the book. So it's like they reached the middle of the book and stopped.
Okay,
And
that's just the example I gave. Like,
yeah,
That's
really.
horrible.
So the movie is the first half of the book. And because one of the reasons why they were kind of like, because the book has a lot of characters, a lot of things going on. If you watch the movie, you know there's a lot happening.
mm-hmm.
So they felt like you couldn't fit it all into one movie and do the book justice because there's so much going on. And what I felt
So
like it was.
If they did the book, it would be a 4-hour movie.
Yes.
I bet you it would be still
Right.
more interesting than what we got now. Because
Yeah, but you can't put a 4-hour movie in theaters.
take some liberties. You gotta have like, because by the end of this movie, what are you? You're like, what? Okay, what are we? This doesn't fit a story structure. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Yeah.
story structure. Like there was an end to this story, even though there's a to be continue. The main part of this story had a beginning, a middle, and an end. This was just
Yeah.
beginning and half of a middle.
Yeah. And the problem is that because it felt incomplete. Unlike, let's say, Infinity War and Endgame, where you knew Endgame was the second part, Infinity War ended.
Right. It was still a complete movie.
Yeah, it ended, it was complete. So I felt like this one it really did feel kind of empty because it was just like, okay, commercial break, and we'll come back to you guys 2 years from now. It's kind of weird.
One interesting thing that I
Mm.
kind of thought of, and then I was like, oh, maybe not. And then my wife mentioned it, and I was like, well, maybe, yeah. She was like, would this be better as a series than a movie?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
so.
probably.
This
Yeah.
would
I
have
think so.
this would have been better as a series. Take the score out and then put it down as a series, because then you can have it episodic. And yes, with series, I mean, even episodes have a beginning, middle, and an end, but still, like the greater story, like, it's always in the background of a series, and that's what I feel like was this, and it just didn't happen. Like by the
Well,
end of the
that and
movie.
I think a series will also give you time to understand the various characters better too. Because I mean, you have like three main groups of people all fighting over one piece of land, and I don't feel like we ever really get to know everyone's motivation
No.
or maybe feel their motivation. I guess they said it, but just like, I don't know. I just felt like it'd have been nicer to dive deeper into because there's so many characters, so many people, so many different groups. It'd have been better to dive deeper into which each one of them really are. Because I have like so many questions about his mother and that little group they're with, and I'm like,
Yeah, what? I'm like, okay, and they're like,
Well,
yeah,
we've been
man.
planning for thousands of years. I'm like, what is your plan? What?
yeah,
Yeah, there's like really not enough backstory for you to
hmm
like
Well,
know anybody like really anybody except for the main dude. Like you kind of, I feel like we got the most from him.
yeah,
Like his
yeah, and
mom and her family of nuns or whatever the heck they were having
I'm
visions. Like, I get that, but
yeah, but I was kind of disappointed. I guess it's gonna be super spoiler alert. Everyone I like died.
yeah. I was like, I
I
like
was
Jason
like,
Momoa's
yeah,
character, but I didn't get
yeah,
enough of him. And then I knew he was gonna die, but
yeah, that was obvious. I knew just about everyone was gonna die, but I was disappointed because I liked, like, I guess, is he a king or whatever, whoever Oscar Isaac character is.
yeah,
I really liked him, and I'm like, he's gonna be dead. Then he did something stupid, and I'm like, see, now you're dead. And honestly, the people I didn't like was the mother and what's his name, Paul or whatever. They can kick rocks,
is that
but
another role of what's her name that we don't like?
yes,
oh yeah.
Um, oh boy. Okay.
Becca Ferguson.
Rebecca Ferguson. I don't think she's a
Yeah.
bad actress, but yeah, I don't like her role. That role, I didn't like her in it. But I mean, Timothy Chalamet's character was fine. I was interested in his story, but again, since he's the main story, like it feels incomplete. So, I didn't leave the movie happy. Um, I would have liked to have known anything about Zendaya's character, since they kind of like pushed all this Zendaya's in this movie. Zendaya's in this movie. It's got Zendaya
oh,
in it. Oh,
Yeah.
Zendaya. She is not in this movie. Little flashbacks of her, like Dorothy said, turning around and walking away or whatever. It doesn't count. That don't count as her being in the movie. Did she have 5 lines?
was it 5? I thought it was like 5 words. Was it 5 lines?
Man, I was like, and it was in the last half hour of the movie. I'm like, she is not in this movie. You did not have it right. That was
No, she is not. But you gotta market how you market.
I mean, but let's
What's
be
gonna get
real. Like Dave
After
Bautista's barely in the movie.
yeah.
Yeah,
after
seriously.
that with Zendaya, it made
Dorothy
me
has no
think of
problem with
Stomp
that.
Yard when they were promoting Chris Brown.
Oh
Chris
yeah, and he
Brown is in the
died
movie. Chris Brown is
immediately.
in the movie. He's 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, but you
Like
gotta
I felt
put
that's
people
how
in
it
the
was
scene.
with Zendaya's character. Like they were promoting her, and she spent a total of 5 minutes of the
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very,
I
very
was like,
sad.
yeah. Um, but they had a lot of named characters in it, like the leader of the I forget their name. I can't get the name of the races and stuff down. Like that's one
Yeah.
thing I couldn't
With the
remember.
House Harkonnen or your House
Was
Harkonnen? Is
it
that
the
what it is?
Harkonnens? It was that
The
them? The
Harkonnens,
what? The
the
real
Harkness.
creepy looking
Flerkens,
dude.
they're
Oh
the
yeah,
Harkonnens.
That's the Harkonnens.
who?
Okay.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah, yeah.
Stellan Skarsgård character.
I was like, I think he did good in that role. He was creepy.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor. It was real creepy though.
Yeah.
I think he's a good actor, but yeah, he did good for his part. But yeah, I think that's the Hark. What did you say it was?
I think it's the Harkonnen,
Harkonnen.
right?
Okay. Yeah, because the House of Treaties is the main dude,
Yeah,
Paul, and his
Atreides.
mom
Yeah.
and dad
Yeah.
and all that.
The treaties is the main people, then the Flerkens,
Who?
Florikins.
Who?
Those are the sand people,
No,
right?
Freemans.
The Freeman.
Freemans?
Yeah, Flurkin
Freeman.
is
Okay.
the cat from Captain Marvel.
Whatever.
Wow.
A flirkin,
Yeah.
flarkin.
Yeah, they're
Wow. But
the
yeah,
Freemans or Framens. Framens.
yeah, them the ones that were speaking that different language and like whispering and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What y'all think about his
Yeah.
voice power?
Is it just the force?
I guess it's kind of like the Force. I was like, this is like Star Wars, but like something
Star
else.
problem.
It's not exactly Star Wars because it's all sci-fi, but this seems more like it's not down to earth, but it seemed like I don't know, like Star Wars is way out there, right? And this seems more
Okay.
relatable, I guess.
Really? Because the first thing I wrote down on my notes was, "Is this Star Wars?" Because that's exactly what it
But you
reminded me of.
know, in promotion of the movie, like written promotions, that's what they said that they were comparing it to.
Hmm.
That they were comparing it to Star Wars.
It was like swinging a miss on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know,
Yeah.
Star Wars told a complete story in each one of their movies, so that's probably
Also that.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. I don't. Is there anything else that I dislike besides the slowness of the movie? Which it felt stretched. I don't know. Would this be a 4-hour movie? Could you fit that book in 3 hours?
Not having read the book is hard to say. I mean, I do feel like there's things they could have gotten rid of, but then I would have to know how the story ends, and I don't.
I don't know. Either 3-hour movie or make it a series. That's what I say. But those are my thoughts on it. Did you have anything, Dorothy? Dorothy.
Oh,
You say Dorothy?
Listen, okay. Look.
I think you hit on a lot of things that I didn't like. One, I just found it incredibly boring.
Mhm.
I didn't like it like at all. I don't think there's a single thing about this movie that I like. And
Wow.
I just feel like there was just so much going on, and I'm just like, why are we doing this? And I just maybe because I have more questions than answers. Like I didn't understand his mother. Like at one point she's like being like, "Oh hey, I can get us out of this," and aggressive. But at another point she's like crying in a corner and wringing her hands, and I'm just like, why? What was up with the fat floaty dude? Like what was
I
his
think he
deal?
has a chair in the
A
original
Buddha.
movie.
Oh.
I thought he was like,
Okay.
handicapped, and like instead of having wheelchairs, they just float. Like when you
Well,
become
yeah,
handicapped.
like I don't think he can walk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
well,
he
they
was huge.
said that when the guy was like captured or whatever, and like he was floating, his legs wasn't moving. But then I'm like,
Mhm.
why is he like 8 feet tall still? Whatever. Anyways, that's not a reason I don't like the movie. I'm just like, what's this deal? Um. So yeah, I don't understand. Like I didn't understand. Maybe this is a nitpick. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But like I didn't understand. Like so, the Harkins was there. They
Mhm.
were on the little sand island, and then they left for reasons.
The
Then they
emperor
send
told them to
the
leave.
Oh yeah, it
then they
was
send the
something
other
weird.
people, but then you sent them just to kill them so you can get the land back? Why did you leave?
They
Um.
they had to because of
Okay,
the
no,
deal.
the emperor did not like Atreus because they were gaining power, and the emperor's a jealous type of person. So he had the Harkins leave and sent the main group there to lose. He literally sent them there to fail. He wanted them to
Right,
die.
I got that. They said it a few times. So he
So
felt like they were getting too powerful, so he sent them there so he can kill them. Why not just kill them wherever they were? Why do this whole elaborate rigmarole?
politics.
Oh, you're
Mm.
like we're not gonna know you didn't set them up. They were there, and then all of a sudden they get attacked. Come on now.
Hey,
Yeah, they all seem to have figured that out.
Pretty quickly. I mean, even before they got attacked, dude was like, "Do you see what they left us with? They set us up to fail." So, I mean, your plan wasn't that great of a plan if people could see through it.
Right, right.
Just, I don't know. It was kind of weird. I just like, I don't know. I feel like if I want to kill my enemy, then I'm just gonna kill the dude and stop playing these games. Saying.
I'm with you.
I
Save
mean,
time.
they could have gone about different ways, but I don't think this is far fetched as far as like different things that kings on our own planet have done in the past. So I'm not going to complain too much about it.
Mhm.
You know that I mean to me that checks out.
It just seems overly complicated.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna leave it like there. I'm gonna leave it right there. I didn't like it. It's short story long.
okay. Well, all right. Anybody else have any likes and dislikes, Derek? Oh well, Derek
I
only
mean,
watched
mine was
20
the
minutes
same.
of it, so he doesn't count.
My, mine was the same as everybody else.
You
It
didn't
was
even watch the
boring.
movie. How can you say it's long? And
It it
Wait a minute, how
it
much of this
was
movie did you
it was
watch?
boring. It was boring. Is what it,
How much did you watch?
20,
Dude, get out of here. You didn't
20,
even get
20 to 30
anywhere.
minutes.
no, he
You
didn't get
oh, okay, so
anywhere.
you watched literally none of the movie.
You
it was
Like,
know
it was
that
boring.
into a movie that early if it's gonna be good or not.
Not always. Some movies get better.
no, not always.
Mm.
But you can't 20 minutes, they just explained that was the narration part.
The movie was boring though.
I mean, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. Maybe I would have been more interested if I didn't have like this blaring horrible music in my ears. Um, Dan,
So,
what about your thoughts?
it's basically along the same line. The movie was very boring. Like from the beginning, I actually fell asleep and had to rewind back to the part that I kind of remembered where I fell asleep at, so I could, you know, kind of get some pieces or something to talk about. But like, yeah, it was real boring. Like you got, like I said, the mother, she come from whatever, like the House of Nuns or whatever, and like she got these mental powers, and I guess the son can do the same thing. That's kind of was my vibe.
Yeah,
Uh, so she's trying to teach him that, but he's having these visions of the future that I don't know if they
He's
wanted to like just find out about it so they can use his abilities as an advantage or something like that. That part I didn't really get, but it was
there's
like
apparently
okay,
a prophecy or something.
I don't know, he's Jesus apparently.
Yeah, they
yeah,
didn't
like the
really
chose. I
explain
kind of got
that
that vibe
part.
too. Like, the chosen one vibe. I kind of
Yeah.
got that kind of vibe with it. So I'm like, okay, so like a Luke Skywalker deal or whatever. I'm like, I'm like, okay, fine. But the action just was like kind of lackluster. Like even
Oh,
Jason Momoa's fight scene when he like I guess sacrificed himself. Even that whole fight scene, I was like, man, this is like really
Yeah.
whack. And then he like gets uh like phantom killed, and then he comes back real quick to get killed again.
right.
That should have been
Actually,
dope.
I'm glad you brought that up. That was in my notes, and I missed it. Their fight scenes were bland. Like it felt like how they practiced with a choreographer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. I agree. I agree with both of you on that. The action was kind of lackluster to me. Like
Yeah.
it didn't excite me to watch it.
No, and like I saw a trailer recently, and I'm like, man, the trailer makes this seem so much better. And then like watching it, it was nothing. Because like even in the scene where they were like trying to save the crew from the earthworm or whatever,
Hmm.
and you really thought like something was going to happen or that the boy was going to do something amazing, and I was just like, this scene is nothing. Like everyone
He
gets
just
away, they
kneeled in the
fly.
sand for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, he was just in there catching lung cancer for inhaling sand dust. And I'm like, okay. And then like
What about
everyone,
them? What about them dragonfly ships?
I thought those
yeah,
looked
like what's the
cool.
deal with that? How is helicopters not better than those little dragonflies? Now, when they did do the dive, I was like, okay, that's better because I don't think you can dive with a helicopter. But besides that, I was just like, why
It's
not just
just
have a
different.
helicopter?
It's just different. But I
But they were
thought they looked
dragonflies.
cool. Yeah.
It just
I
seemed
feel like for
inefficient.
something that advanced, I feel like as far in the future as they are, I'm like y'all don't have wings anymore. Like
There's a
this is
reason for that. Now, I did learn something from the internet because I started to like maybe the internet can help me like this movie more, but I got bored of my research and stopped. But the reason on why there's not a lot of like technology, like advanced computers, never mind the fact that this book was written in the 60s,
Mhm.
is because
right.
apparently in the future there was some sort of war with AI or whatever, so they kind of like got rid of all the computers because the computers were getting too smart. So that is why
Ah.
there's no technology. Interesting.
Oh.
Okay.
They should have
I,
told that in the
I
movie.
wish that would have been in the movie. Like let us know that. That way we know
Yeah,
why y'all. It looked like they in Hebrew times. Like I'm like,
yeah.
what are y'all doing? That's another thing that like made the movie boring for me. I'm like, there's like nothing fantastic here that y'all doing besides going to this desert planet looking for curry powder because it makes y'all like super strong or like be able to travel, something like that. They
It
said.
allows for intergalactic travel, and it is also
Mhm.
has health benefits, is how those people who live in the sand are strong and live long.
Okay,
So I guess it has twofold benefit.
Mm, okay.
okay. I never got those kind of benefits from curry powder, but whatever. This is in the future.
Hmm. It's
What
laced with
else?
steroids.
Mhm.
It's see, I'm buying from the wrong supplier. But anyway, yeah, it like just the whole everything was boring. Like there were no exciting action scenes. The talking was real slow. Then they had the subtitles you had to like look down at to try to understand what was going on. Like when they was talking in a secret language about Paul, I think his name was. Like they said he'll know your ways as if he was born from them or something like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess indicating that he was the chosen one or whatever.
Mhm.
It's just the movie just moved like way too slow for me to like keep up with it. And like I said, I fell asleep like twice and had to rewind. It just didn't keep my attention. And everybody dies.
And
Everybody
And
good.
everybody dies.
everybody died.
Like, like come on.
So
Yeah.
I
Like,
do think that if you were a person that now I guess we didn't make it clear at the beginning, we none of us have seen the original Dune movie.
Never heard
Uh
of it.
or heard of it. I do think that people who have saw the original might like this movie more just because you're seeing an updated version of what you already liked. So even though it's slower and stuff, like you're probably getting enjoyment from seeing like just this updated version. Like I said, the sets and stuff look great. You know, um,
yeah, I'll give them that. The visuals were nice looking. That was cool.
yeah. So yeah, I feel like people who have saw the original Doom movie are going to like this movie.
I think not just the movie. the book itself has a big fan base.
Mm.
And for one, for a person who reads a lot, did not know that this was a book. So I think those who are fans of the original novel plus the movie are going to enjoy it a ton. And I also feel like I think we're a group of people who don't really watch sci-fi movies all that much.
Uh, uh, hmm.
And
I guess I
so I think
don't.
that kind
I
of
like
already puts it at a disadvantage.
I consider myself a person that likes sci-fi, but I guess I don't watch them that much. All right, okay then. Well, no,
I
I
mean, I
mean,
dig sci-fi too,
yeah, I
but
like sci-fi.
I mean, you got to give me something.
Yeah,
Just because it's sci-fi doesn't make it interesting. You have to make, you got to make something of it.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
don't tell me half a story in 2.5 hours. Maybe I wouldn't be upset about it.
Possibly.
Yeah. All right. Well, any movie facts?
Um, just one, but I already said it about it being a novel by Frank Herbert, and the movie is just the first half of the book, and the book was considered unfilmable
Oh,
because of how complicated it is.
oh, might be
Okay.
true, or make it a series. But,
Yeah.
um, another movie fact for you.
Mhm.
Zendaya is not in this movie. Okay, so what's the all right?
Wow.
Were there nitpicks, or did we touch on all of
I
them?
I did. Did any of you guys have nitpicks before I get into my few? I don't have a ton, just a few.
Most of
Uh,
my nitpicks were just the score, obviously
to me, that's not a
not well
nitpick because it
done.
ruins the movie. If it
It,
ruins the movie, it's not a nitpick. It's just bad.
so it's more than a nitpick. But yeah, that was just bad. Like, yeah.
Okay. All right. So then we will get into mines. So the mom is really powerful, right?
Hmm.
But do you get the impression
Supposedly.
is she like afraid to use her powers? I don't understand her.
Yeah, she only used
I
it the one time, right? When they were in the little
When
plane
they were
thing.
in the dragonfly.
Yeah.
yeah, making with like control of
Yeah.
their mind or something by matching their pitch or whatever.
She has to lower her pitch or whatever. It's like the force, but with the creepy voice.
Mm.
Ah,
I
okay.
mean, isn't it right? Because she's like, untie me, jump off this plane, and they're like, okay. And so I just I just think it's weird because at one moment you're like, oh, she's super strong, and then at another thing she'd be like so unsure of herself, and I just didn't understand. Like, what's her deal?
Yeah, she could have used it
Yeah,
at
I
the
did,
end of the
I did think
movie
a lack of confidence.
when they were
When they were fighting to death for reasons.
yeah.
Oh, when he fought that dude from that tribe with the blue
See,
eyes.
Hmm.
it's just like Dorothy said. That scene is a middle of the movie scene, not the final scene of a movie. Like that. Okay, never
Yeah.
mind. Yeah,
Well, that and it wasn't dramatic because I'm like, well, he's going to win. They said he was the Messiah.
yeah, yeah. I was like, we knew he was
So
gonna win, but I didn't know if that guy
yeah.
was gonna die because wasn't he in a vision or something, teaching him stuff?
So apparently the vision shows some possible outcomes of things. So it
Hmm.
doesn't have to necessarily happen that way. So yeah, there was a vision when him and the guy was working together. So that's just like one outcome that could have happened.
Oh, so Zendaya kills him in one outcome.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense because he was talking about that knife and he said he like somebody's gonna give me a knife and this, that, and the other, but he don't know who and whatnot. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I guess that's true.
mm.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Okay.
she was the one. Oh, see that when she gave him the dagger or whatever, it didn't even seem special, and it should have
Mhm.
because that was the point, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
I
didn't
would have
seem
thought so.
special at all. It was just like, oh, she
Yeah.
gave him a thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Hmm.
So then when this coup was going down, and we all know what's happening because that doctor was extra sketchy from the get-go, and I'm like, don't trust him.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So the king or whatever he goes outside, right? Sees someone bleeding out on the floor. He's like, security. No one answers. Why do you go further out into the open to be stabbed in the back?
Ah, yeah, that's true.
Like, don't you go run and go get your weapons and your shields and whatnot?
Also true. Well, he turned his
That
I
shield
makes
would
no
on.
have.
sense.
He did turn his shield on.
He turned the ship, but like, go get your gun or your sword or whatever. Like, I didn't. I'm like, dude. I was just like, so we just had to kill him because this didn't make no sense.
Apparently.
Yeah, I would have done something. Or I just would have been like, you know what? This isn't my problem.
Yeah, like,
I keep
dude,
doing what I was doing.
I'm the leader here, and I'm like security, and no one comes. Like, dude, I'm about to run back into my room and close the doors.
Right. I'm like, somebody will get to it later.
Yeah, what you doing? That make no sense. Okay,
Agreed.
so my last one. So, like, when they went out and they was wearing these special suits or whatever, right? Is it just
Mhm.
me, or did like some of them had on helmets, some of them didn't have on helmets, some of them had on breathing apparatus, some of them didn't? Did they need that or not?
So
They seem really inconsistent on what kind of protection they needed.
all right. So the suits was needed to keep you hydrated out in the desert.
Okay.
You don't need a special breathing apparatus and stuff. They did use it because it helps, but it's not like if you go out there you're gonna die. It's just I think they said without it, in a few hours you would typically die. And when him and his mom was trapped, they had a tent that did a similar thing. It basically collected all the water you expelled and recycled it. So yeah, that was the basic thing. So I think it was correct there. Like you technically you don't need anything, but if you want to survive a long time, you might want
You
to
need
have
it.
these items.
They just seem inconsistent on their use. And what's with the nose plugs? Did they explain that?
No, I don't know what
Nope,
was
they
with
didn't.
the nose plugs.
At least I don't think they did.
No.
I think it might have been the end, but like you, I did fall asleep at the end, and I was
Mm-mm.
like, dang, now I gotta rewind.
Yeah. I had to do that a couple times. 'Cause I fell asleep the second time. I was like, no. Oh,
But I
what was with that part? I think that was the Fremen people, I want to say. They were like, oh, spitting in a cup. And then I guess what it takes with all the spit and turns it into something drinkable.
Yes.
Anybody remember that part?
Yep. Yep.
Is
I
that
don't
what
remember
that
that
is?
part. Was that at
No.
the end?
That was
It was towards the end.
towards the end.
Oh,
It's
okay.
probably an hour left after that, but yeah, that's
I don't
before
remember that.
Jason
Yeah.
Momoa died.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Like
Oh,
right before.
I must have blacked
It was,
out.
it was
Okay.
disgusting. It was disgusting.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would not want to do that, but I guess if you're living on a desert planet and like you need liquid, I guess
I need to
I
just try to
find
run the
my
planet and just
hydration in
die.
other places. Thank you.
So I'm like, I'll just die. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Freaking disgusting.
Yeah. So that was my only nitpick. That and the other things were just dislike for this movie. But
Okay.
Mhm.
yeah, it was slow and boring. We probably lost our 10 fans who enjoyed this movie a ton.
We always say that. We still have the same 10 fans, so I think they agree with us. No.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they do. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect, and I was just kind of like, I wanted to be pleasantly surprised, and I was not.
Mhm. Well, I guess it's time for a rating.
Okay.
All right.
Oof.
I'm going to rate it pure torture, and I almost gave it a watch my phone close because like I said, I think the plot in theory is interesting, but I can't because the way this movie was implemented to me was not done well. So this is a pure torture to watch.
Yeah, the plot's interesting, but it's like they did nothing with the plot. Like they didn't capitalize on none of that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they didn't.
It was just so slow moving. Like I felt like how do you make a coup boring?
That's
Like
true. That's true.
Right, that should be exciting.
like that should be super exciting. Like betrayal and literally getting stabbed in the back should be exciting.
Yeah.
And it
You
was
would think.
not.
All right.
Yeah.
You would think.
That's a what from you?
Oh, that is just kill me.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. Derek can't rate it, so Dan.
I was gonna
I'm
say
gonna
two
also go
unfortunate,
with
but whatever.
Well, how can you
You
rate a
can't rate
movie
it.
that you saw like 10% of?
10%.
Yeah.
You
Like, did
can't
you
rate
even
it.
get to the opening credits?
I'm pretty sure those people on. I'm pretty sure the people on Rotten Tomatoes haven't seen the whole movie.
No,
Yes,
not.
they did.
Yes, they did. First of all, they're the critics, so they have to. It wasn't the audience
Yeah.
ratings, and that's like reading I or Call Me Ishmael and going, "This book sucks." Right after that, like you, you can't give a rating.
Yeah.
All right, what did you say, Tay or Dan?
I was gonna say before they kill everybody important in the movie, kill me, so that way I don't have to be a witness of it because it's terrible. Like I mean, pure torture is not enough to show how terrible the movie was. Like
I
just
agree.
kill me first, man. Like kill me first
All right.
before you even
So,
tell me the title of the movie.
who's going to be in the second movie if they killed everybody?
Zendaya,
The directors,
apparently,
Zendaya?
since she
the
wasn't
directors
in
have to
this
be in the
one.
movie because they killed all their actors.
It's true. It's just Zendaya, the mom, and the son. That's the only people that's left.
Oh, okay.
I
No,
mean,
wait. Isn't what's Majig left?
what, Dave
Batista?
Bautista? Yeah, he's the bad guy though.
He wasn't in this movie barely either. He
No, he
like
wasn't.
turned around for a quick second in the beginning.
They didn't even give him any real action. Like,
Yeah, they really didn't.
he just
This whole
walked
movie's a
around.
lie.
He was yelling, doing a lot of yelling in the beginning, but that's about it.
Yeah.
No.
All right, so since I'm now outnumbered, 3D rivals it's gonna rate Dune. Kill me first before I watch this movie.
Ooh.
And that is our rating. We don't give that out a lot. Wasn't the last one we gave that a comic book? I think it was.
It was.
It was.
So yeah, if you haven't seen Dune, I'm gonna say this: if you're not a Dune fan, don't watch this movie. Just don't. If you are a Dune fan, there's a chance that you disagree with us on everything that we said. So you know you can go watch it. But if you haven't seen Dune at all and never heard of it, don't waste your time. You can't get those 2.5 hours back.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, but tell us what you thought about Dune. Dune? Man, I can't talk.
Dune?
Today.
Yeah, what are you saying today?
Dune. Oh, movie fact. I forgot. Yeah, apparently Dune is another name for the planet that they're on.
What's the name of their planet? I thought it was Eritrea. No, wait, that's a
No,
real country,
Arrakis.
isn't it?
that's the
Sorry.
other one.
It's Arrakis.
Arrakis, yes.
Arrakis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also called Dune, which they explained in the first movie. They did not really explain in this one.
Why does everything need to have two names?
I don't know.
Oh.
It doesn't.
They already got
Although
them
we
made up
have human beings
languages.
have 3 names, so I guess
Yeah.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yes. So, yes, if you want to reach out to us, you definitely can. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And leave a rating and a review wherever you listen to your podcast. We definitely would appreciate it. Tell us how much you love Dune, and we're stupid for not liking it. We want to know. So, with that being,
give me a reason why.
Yeah, I would explain to. I'm not going to listen to your explanation. Let's be real. With that being said, thank you so much for listening, guys. We appreciate it.